What's up guys, Chad here. Before this video starts, I ask that if you are a Discipline Priest and if you want help playing Discipline Priest, please join my Discord, which is linked below in the description. I will also link the Discord ran by the Warcraft Priests team. It's the place to be if you need theory crafting. They have all the numbers and all the recommendations, and I can't recommend it enough. If you do join my Discord, I offer log reviews for free, and I also offer free coaching. I do have a busy day job, but I will make time for the Disc Priest homies. So, anyway, on to the video. So, for Vexie and the Gear Grinders, on this boss, the first damage event is roughly 8-9 seconds into the fight. It's the exhaust fumes, and I want to send Evangelism into the first one. Just to cycle it and get it back up for, depending on how many bikes you send into the boss and how fast you do it, you're either sending it into the last exhaust fumes you'll get in phase 1 or the intermission. And the last exhaust fumes do far more damage than the first ones, and that's why you want to do that. But even if that is not true and you get an early intermission, the intermission is also really good for an Oracle ramp. Oracle's ramps last really long, and that fits the intermission really well. So we're gonna watch me start ramping before the pull here. And I try to be a little bit on the early side rather than late, so I start at like 9 seconds on the pull timer. 10 seconds even if I could, probably. So we go into the pull here. I have 10 atonements, I go rad. You can see the rated damage mechanic coming up on bigwigs. That's the exhaust fumes. So yeah, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, tail end-ish. I weave shields here in between my penances because the damage event doesn't last for very long, and Oracle shields, especially buffed by Wheel and Woe, are exceptionally strong. So you can get a lot of gas out of that for sure. Now here you can see that the rated damage event is, like, it should have already happened, but it's a bit late. The boss just spell queued it. But I send a Radiance into it, a Mind Blast, and we just send the usual. However, every time after my penance, I send a shield instead of a buffed smite. I'm pretty sure it's more healing, so. And here again, the raid damage event should have already happened, but there we go. And it always happens after the tank buster, so that's what I look for. For this one, I sent uppies a tad bit late. I got oil during it, which looks really funny. I'm moving out. Doing the same thing here again, where I'm abusing Wheel and Woe. You can see me still keep the Wheel and Woe here, then send the buffed shield into a guy. And then I'm soaking. And then I go into another ramp here for the next raid damage event. Forgot to send my Mind Blast there, which is a mistake. We sent a buffed shield again by Wheel and Woe. Sent another penance and then a Wheel and Woe shield again. And that's kind of how I play on this fight. Another Wheel and Woe shield is gonna go out now. There we go. We sent it on the tank. Now here, I start my Evang ramp, I believe, in the hopes that we're going into the intermission here. I expected us to not get this damage event. I expected us to go into intermission early. And I kind of griefed. Ideally, I should have sent my Evang into that into that exhaust fume, which kind of sucks, but I'm going into Evang here, and we're gonna go into intermission. And this ramp, unironically, is probably the worst ramp of this like pull. I hit basically 0 damage at the start here. It's probably the worst timer you can hit. Being too early into the intermission feels really bad. Because it has a long cast before it even starts doing damage. But because I'm playing Oracle, it doesn't really matter too much. I'm not that punished. You have a lot of, like, your tomes just last forever. You're still seeing me play here with the penance into Wheel and Woe shield. And I'm gonna go into another ramp here. Mind Blast, Radiance again, and still Wheel and Woe shield, not buffed smite. And again, Wheel and Woe shield, just keep on playing the same way. After this phase ends, it's 7 seconds off, as you can see here, for the next exhaust fumes. So I'm immediately ramping here. And I'm also, like, looking at the timer for my evangelism, because I want to cycle the next one in this phase. I don't want to do it too early, so I think I'm going to cycle it for the third raid damage event here, or the third exhaust fume, which is perfect. because we don't want to hit the early ones now because they don't hurt that much. So the fact that our cadence has put us perfectly into like a later raid damage event is perfect. I'm doing kind of a strange ramp here, like a staircase ramp, where I, in the middle of the ramp, sent a penance and a wheel and woe shield. Yeah, I finished my ramp off here. I felt like I was a bit too early, but I wasn't. Sometimes the raid damage event gets, or the exhaust fumes get spell queued, which is why I did that. And I'm gonna shield here with wheel and woe. And again, I'm looking for the raid damage event on bigwigs, which is the exhaust fumes again. And I'm sending another ramp here. And I'm doing the exact same thing as I've been doing the entire time, pretty much. I'm going to send a Radiance, I'm going to send a Mind Blast. This time a defensive penance into a shield on somebody who was struggling there, but a healer almost die. We get oil again. A lot of oil on me, this bull. God, I hate the oil. I just slide around in it. I spot heal myself here, and I get topped up here by another healer, which I can't thank that person enough. Holy shit. I think that was a lay on hands by a Ret Paladin. What a gamer. Anyway, as you can see, I'm just continuing to send my Wheel and Woe shields here. Nothing is really changing. Outside of evangelism, this is all I do. I'm just trying to make sure I'm cycling my Radiances, my Mind Blasts, and I'm trying to align it with the Exhaust Fumes or on Bigwigs raid damage. And also, I'm watching my evangelism, my uppies, all the time. So here I dunk, and I'm gonna go into an evangelism ramp here for the intermission. So we get a stack here, sadly, of the end rage, but one stack is fine. It's not a wipe. I go rad. Actually, did I only have one rad there? No, I had two rads. And this is a far better timing here for the intermission. Anytime that you ramp for the intermission, you want to like hit it such that you're damaging stuff when like damage is actually going out to the raid instead of doing what I did on the first one and I just hit into air. Again, the intermission lasts forever, so I'm sending another ramp here, and it's going to be an uppies. The boss is almost dead, so might as well get some mileage out of this button. And that's the boss dead. Alright. Yeah, so on this boss, the way that I play is I just cycle a Radiance for each raid damage event, as it's called in Bigwigs, or Exhaust Fumes, as it's actually called. And the idea is essentially to have a Radiance and a Mind Blast paired with each ramp. When you play Oracle here, in my opinion, the best way you play it is by sending those mini ramps and then using Wheel and Woe exclusively on shields and not on smites. There's a lot of good targets for Wheel and Woe shields, but you can kind of determine that on your own. If anybody dips low, for example, maybe somebody's dealing with a mechanic, maybe somebody's getting the oil mechanic because you get a dot when you step in it. There's a lot of good targets for those Wheel and Woe shields. Very important, but also make sure that when you're planning this fight, make sure that you don't do what I do on that first ramp. Make sure that you understand where you're at in the fight. Are you gonna push into intermission? Listen to the raid Discord. Make sure that you know when that plating is breaking, and you get into the intermission, so that you don't hit your evangelism into nothing happening. Also, for your uppies ramp, make sure that you're not cycling uppies on the second exhaust fumes, for example. Third and onwards is fine, because the damage ramps up over time, so you want to hit something that actually matters. And another note as well, before we close out this video, is going to be, make sure that you are aware of the fact that the boss spell queues the Tank Buster, which is what triggers the exhaust fumes. So when you're playing this boss, watch the boss. If it starts casting Tank Buster, it's exactly after that the exhaust fumes go out. That might help you change your spell queue or whatever you have going for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will make more videos like this, hopefully, where I talk over my gameplay retroactively instead of live. But I haven't had an opportunity to do so yet. This is the first time, really, because I recently went down in the amount of hours I work, which has been the biggest a bottleneck for me. So hopefully in the future you'll see me make more of these videos, like some Styx commentary perhaps, or maybe even some Lock and Stock or whatever the fuck his name is. Anyway, Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.